Hey everyone, it's Denise Salcedo. Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. Today we are chatting about NXT, the Great American Bash, and what a night we had here today. Lots of pro wrestling to talk about, lots of news out of this show. I can't wait to jump into it. I think this is going to be one of those shows where we definitely have lots to talk about, and obviously that was expected heading into the Great American Bash, especially looking at the card on paper. I think we all kind of knew that there were quite a few matches that I think we were all particularly looking forward to. And I gotta say, today was a pretty fun night. I can't say I loved each and every single thing that occurred on the show, but I'm also not gonna say that I hated everything, because I really did not. There was a lot that I loved from this show that I cannot wait to talk about here today. So we got everybody coming in here. Thank you guys so much for making your way into the show. Before we get started, I do want to remind you guys that this is my first show of the week. As always, you all know that I get started with NXT. Then tomorrow I will be back with AEW Dynamite. And then Friday I wrap up the week with Friday Night Smackdown. Also, this show is very interactive, so at any point you are more than welcome to send in your comments, your questions, your statements, whether you're watching on YouTube or whether you're watching on Twitch. I will go ahead and read your thoughts. However, if you do want to get your comments read here, 100% guaranteed, you can send in a super chat. If you send in a super chat, I do get to keep 100% of the proceeds that you guys send in, so they really do help me out. Also, I hope you guys are loving, starting to get used to the new theme here. I'm redesigning this entire setup. Things are going to be changing each and every single day that you guys tune into the stream. So slowly but surely, this new space here that I'm running the show on will look better and better, hopefully, each and every single week as we progress. But here we go, guys. I'm going to kick things off with some of your overall comments, as well as our first super chat of the night. And this one is from my favorite bird out there, Sexy Pheasant, who says, "My cat wanted you, Denise. Meow, 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 meow. Me, ouch, you hurt when you're anti-cat views." What a way to kick us off. Totally unrelated to NXT, but you know what? You paid your hard-earned money on this stream and got me to meow. Thank you so much to Sexy Pheasant for kicking us off with that super chat. But let's see what we got here. Alex Aguilera has a funny joke for me and says, "Denise, it looks like you're broadcasting from Raw Underground." Oh, you know what? That's not a good sign. That is not a good sign. That's actually, you know what? That's telling me that this setup ain't looking that great. But don't worry. I hope it gets better. Thank you so much to Alex Aguilera for burying my setup at the top of this stream. Just kidding. I appreciate the joke here. But let's see what we got here. We got a lot of comments on Hit Row, which is going to be a topic we're going to get into here today. But just to kick us off, a comment from Tyler who says, "Hit Row is trying too hard in his opinion." Twitch Face 4 wants to know, if he pays $5, can I prevent someone's super chat from being read? Hey, this is the way things go, guys. If you send in a super chat, I will definitely read it. All right, girl wants to make money here. And I also do read some of the non-super chat comments as well. We do run through the show in chronological format. So if you guys want to get your comment read, the best way to do so is by sending it as it correlates with the topic that we're getting here too. So we will talk about the MSK hate, because that is a topic to discuss today. We will talk about Hit Row, because I do think that a couple of people are going to like it, and then other people are just definitely not going to like it here today. So I think that's kind of the gist of where we're getting at here today. But let's do this, guys. Let's talk about the opening match of the night. And this was probably the match that I personally was most looking forward to, because I was 99.9% sure that they were actually going to give the win to Thatcher and Ciampa. And boy, was I completely incorrect. Buzz me the wrong buzzer, because I was wrong. Okay, so we had the opening match for the NXT Tag Team titles. MSK defending their titles against Timothy Thatcher, who has never held gold in NXT, I may add, and Tommaso Ciampa. Okay, so I already wanted them to win, okay? They were already my pick heading into this match. And they were my pick. Why? Because I like MSK. I'm a fan of MSK. I'm not like an MSK hater whatsoever. Like I like MSK. But here's the thing though, is that personally, as a viewer, I could not buy that MSK could actually defeat Thatcher or Ciampa. Like, I'm sorry, but you look at those two teams, and you just automatically look and you're like, yeah, those two dudes are totally going to kick their asses. Like, there's not even a chance in hell. Well, that's the way that I saw things. And then when I interviewed Tommaso Ciampa and we talked about, this match, I don't hate to say it, but I have to say that, the conversation with him made me want to see it even more. It made me care about this match so much more because I kind of feel like Ciampa is really trying to, get people to remember how good he is in the ring. And I think that Thatcher is obviously, they said this, in the interview, they said this on NXT TV that Thatcher is hungry. He wants some gold. Lately, I think that the team of Thatcher and Ciampa has only been getting better and better as the weeks progressed. And MSK is a cool team. Like, they do cool stuff. They have those, fun types of matches. And for the most part, they've had a nice little run as NXT Tag Team Champions. However, the Capitol Wrestling Center completely turned their backs on MSK. And it's been a couple of weeks now, maybe even a couple of months now, that they have not been feeling MSK whatsoever. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the reason is or why. To be honest, I don't really have an answer for you, but the CWC crowd does not care for MSK. Like, they have a couple of moments where they'll pop for, the cool moves that they do and that. But for the most part, I'm trying to remember when the shift happened, because I remember discussing it when the shift happened on the show, saying, you know what, I was surprised that the crowd was booing MSK. And I'm trying to pinpoint when that was. I almost feel it was definitely when they made the move over to Tuesdays. I may be confusing my timeline here, but I do remember there being that moment where I was like, oh, shoot, they're booing MSK? I thought they were baby faces. But as the weeks progressed, and more so today, it was very obvious that the Capitol Wrestling Center audience definitely wanted to see the belts change hands. They definitely wanted to see Thatcher and Ciampa walk out as champions. That did not happen. And this match was good, guys. This was a fun match, and I think it was what we expected. But the problem was the actual finish. This match was almost going to be one of my favorite matches. Like, even if they would have still had MSK win, regardless, I think I would have still really enjoyed this match. However, the finish was lame with that inside cradle. I think it really just took away from what this match could have been. And instead of ending this match with a big exclamation point or a period, they ended it with a comma. That's exactly what it felt like. That's the best way that I could describe it. And so I was not happy with the finish, guys. I really do think that, given that the Capitol Wrestling Center are the people that they are going to be performing in front of, obviously they're not touring. I think that they dictate essentially, who your baby faces are, who your heels are, because they're the crowd that's there. They are the regular ones going each and every single week. So I personally, if I were the one making decisions, I would have caught an audible. I would have said, you know what? The crowd doesn't want to see MSK win, and they're technically supposed to still be baby faces, but they're kind of not. So they should have definitely called an audible, and they should have definitely had Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher win this match. So I will say that I believe that the wrong team won, and this is not because I don't like MSK or anything like that. This is literally because of the way that the Capitol Wrestling Center audience reacted to MSK during this match, how they reacted to Thatcher and Ciampa, and how they reacted with the finish. So guys, what did you all think about this? What are your theories as to why the CWC people hate MSK? What on earth is happening here? What didn't we see? Send in your comments, send in your super chats. I'm going to go ahead and start reading a couple here. Kicking us off is Brandon Rosen, who says, I thought the finish was garbage. A small package pin is not a dominant look for the tag champs. I believe in MSK even less than I did before tonight. See, and so now, like, obviously with the win, it wasn't a dominant win. It wasn't the kind of win that you would expect these like guys who are essentially on fire, because they came into NXT and shortly thereafter they became champions. They started having these hot matches. And now all of a sudden, it's like they're winning in this fashion. It doesn't fall in line with who MSK is. So I personally think that they need to make it clear sooner rather than later that maybe MSK is not necessarily a babyface group. I don't know. It's not crystal clear is what I'm trying to get at here. All right, let's see what we got here. This is a comment from Cyclops, who says, the right team won. MSK needed it more. I hate Ciampa, by the way, so I'm happy he lost. What? Who on earth hates Tommaso Ciampa? He's literally like the baddest man on this planet. Oh, I definitely don't get that whatsoever here. This is the comment from Martin Carrillo, who says, it doesn't make sense for MSK to get booed. These guys are alike to DIY, but I guess these fans are heels. The fans make the decisions, guys. They make the decisions. At least they're the ones that are there and present. Oh my God. All right. We have Amanda Rodriguez, who's a fan here of MSK, and says MSK is superior. We have a comment from Mr. EMJ, who says it's okay to have a surprise win from the underdog team every once in a while. Plus, NXT fans be hating on teams that are great in the beginning. FTR, Logan Birch, to say a couple. And let's see what else we got here. I'm trying to see if I missed any comments that were... Okay, here we go. This one's from Pomi, who says, MSK were rushed too soon to the tag titles. They are underdogs who haven't really lost at all. See, this is weird, because I feel when MSK won and when they won the tag titles, I felt for the most part that we were all on the same little happy page of, oh, yay, they won, woohoo. You know, they totally gave them the shot. They're running with MSK. They're building a new hot team. Awesome. That's kind of like the page that I thought we were all on. But now I'm starting to wonder if that is what sort of caused, for them to turn their backs on MSK. So it's really strange. I kind of feel like this is a little bit of a mystery per se. I don't know. I really don't know. All right, let me go ahead and see if I find some more comments here. This one's from Sticker Reds 202, who says, it ended with a roll-up, a move which should be banned. It ruined so many matches. What can I say, guys? We have a comment from Paul Jr. 77, who believes that MSK were rushed. Was the fact that they were rushed into this picture here as champions? See, I feel like you're on to something here by saying that they were rushed, because one of the first things that I said heading into this match was, I do not buy that MSK can actually defeat Ciampa and Thatcher. I can't buy it. So what you're telling me there is that you didn't convince me as a fan, as a viewer, as a consistent viewer, that these guys can, in fact, defeat anybody. They didn't do a good job of convincing me or convincing other people because they were rushed. I do feel like that is a possibility as to why a lot of people may, or at least the people definitely in the CWC, aren't getting behind them. So we'll see about that. And we have a comment from Sean Harrington, who says, I'm just not a fan of MSK. They have more times disappointed me as characters. I just don't get them when they cut promos. Their matches are fine, but who are MSK? It's been months and I still don't know. They did a couple of promos for them. They did a couple of like where they're from, video packages. I remember that when they first came in. So they did have that. But other than that, they're just, I guess you can say, two guys that essentially do cool moves and, are fun. But I still feel like that should be enough for the people to at least get behind them, because their matches are fun. I don't think they've been in one match that I did not like. Like, I honestly cannot think of a match that I did not like that involved MSK. I truly cannot. So I do not know. All right, let's see what else we got here. And all right, let's see. This is another comment from God Vessel's Mime, who says, I feel like Ciampa and Timmy should have won. Plus, it would have been a good comeback storyline for them. It really would have. That's the thing. I really do think it would have been like a good comeback story. Or also, and I get it, you know, they're still really trying to find their rhythm as a team. I get all that. I really do. And it's kind of like, I get why people are like, oh, you still want MSK to have this long reign, et cetera, et cetera. I just feel like they could do a lot of, I feel like they could do much cooler things with Ciampa and Thatcher. Or maybe at least I built up this like vision of what they can do with them as champions. And so now that vision is what I want to see. Obviously, they can't please every single person's vision, but that's kind of where I'm at with all of this. So there you guys go. All right, guys, here we go. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic of the day. But just a friendly reminder, if you guys do send in a super chat, you will get your comment read on the stream. If you have some brilliant thoughts and you're like, Denise, I need you to get this information out there to the people, send it in. If you send in a super chat, I do get to keep 100% of the proceeds of super chats. They do really help me out on this streams. But let's go ahead and move on. All right. So after this, we had the Karrion Kross, Johnny Gargano face off with Samoa Joe and William Regal in the ring. So here we go. We got some stuff to talk about here because I think this is going to be a little bit of a prediction moment for us. So Johnny Gargano kicks this off by saying that Karrion Kross lives in his mind rent-free, that he knows that Kross terrifies, that Johnny Gargano terrifies Karrion Kross and that he is aware of that. So we find out next week we're having Johnny Gargano versus Karrion Kross. But that's not it. They continue on by saying that Kross then takes the mic and he says that the only advantage, that size isn't the only advantage that Kross has on Johnny Gargano. He starts talking about his convictions and how his convictions are the ones that he also has that essentially put him one up above Johnny Gargano. He starts talking about how he wants to be WWE champion. He starts talking about how he one day wants to main event WrestleMania. And that's something that I think he also touched on when he did the global press conference, the NXT global press conference for NXT in Your House, the last one that they did. He also mentioned that there. So I think that, you know, he's definitely, you can consider these Easter eggs for the possible, hey, he might be going to the main roster. You can consider those Easter eggs if you want. But then afterwards, and he throws a shot at Johnny Gargano and says that he wears his wife's jeans. And a couple moments later, we will have a great comeback from Johnny Gargano. But before that, Kross basically tells them, this isn't a comic book. This is real life. And in people like you in real life do not win against people like me in real life. Then it is revealed that Samoa Joe will be the special guest referee for this match next week. Then, before Johnny Gargano leaves the ring, he turns around and he tells Karrion Kross that, you know, touching on his pants, speaking about his wife's pants, that Karrion Kross cannot even lace his wife's boots. And I thought that was such a good shot to throw that kind of just like heated up this promo so much more. Personally, I enjoyed this back and forth between Johnny Gargano and Karrion Kross. I think that Johnny Gargano has been really good at like throwing these like little shots in on Karrion Kross, and it's been bouncing off pretty well. But here we go. It's time for some predictions here. And given the fact, okay, so when it was just first announced that it was going to be Karrion Kross versus Johnny Gargano, I would have thought that, okay, we're going to have Johnny Gargano win, Karrion Kross is going to lose, he's going to go to the main roster, daddy, right? Well, now that they added Samoa Joe as the special guest referee, it seems to me that they are teasing, and obviously we've already seen teases of this before. This is not the first tease, but they are now even more so teasing this Karrion Kross Samoa Joe potential matchup. And again, this is not the first tease we've seen. We've literally seen this since the moment Samoa Joe came to NXT and joined in as the special enforcer, whatever he is, to William Regal. So here's the prediction. I do think that Johnny Gargano will lose against Karrion Kross. Eventually, if they do decide, and it seems like they are, to do Karrion Kross versus Samoa Joe, and let's say Karrion Kross definitely is going to the main roster, then I do definitely think that Samoa Joe will probably be the guy to take the title from Karrion Kross. Again, that is just a prediction. As you guys know, my predictions can be terribly and awfully wrong. But as of right now, that seems to be the picture that they are painting. So thoughts, everybody. Let's see. What do you guys think about this? All right. We have a comment from Synonymous TV who says, I feel like Johnny Gargano depends too much on telling Kross he can't wrestle. That seems to be the go-to diss used by small work rate guys feuding with Kross. Adam Cole did the same thing. But I do think that, but the way that Johnny Gargano and him have been doing it, or at least Johnny Gargano, because he's doing more of this like comedic side. Obviously, that's his personality right now. He's supposed to be like this funny ha-ha guy. I like the way that I don't mind it. I don't necessarily mind it, although you have a point though, because at the end of the day, Kross is still the NXT champion. At the end of the day, he's still the champion. And you don't want to tell everybody that, hey, our champion is not up to par to some of our past champions like Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Finn Balor, you name them. Okay, we have a long list of people that we can name. You don't necessarily want to say that. Like, I get the jabs and I personally like them, but taking a step back, it does sort of hurt your NXT champion. But again, it's trash talking. It's part of what you're going to do. So it is what it is here. We have a super chat. Thank you so much to God's Vessel Mime, who says, I think Kross versus Joe will be his last match for sure. I will tell you this much, though. If it is Samoa Joe versus Karrion Kross, I can definitely guarantee it, that Samoa Joe will have a badass match with Karrion Kross, all right? It will be phenomenal, and it will be ass-kicking. It would be awesome, all right? And I am 100% here for that. I do not mind whatsoever seeing Samoa Joe as NXT champion. I would totally be okay with that. So thank you so much for the super chat, God's Vessel Mine, for sending this in. And let's see what else we got here. I'm going to pull up a couple more comments here. And this is one from Lenny Banner, who says, I can see Gargano winning. Kross snaps after fact choking out Joe if Joe is cleared, which will lead to Joe Kross, which doesn't need the title involved. Plus, I think Gargano Cole feels likely we push towards the next takeover for the title. See, and here's the thing too, is that I know that like that was my thing where I was thinking like when I started seeing them tease Karrion Kross and Samoa Joe, I started thinking, oh well, you know, like Samoa Joe, we don't even know if Samoa Joe's cleared. Like, why am I going to get my hopes up? I'm going to look stupid if I get my hopes up. And then, but really though, the fact that they added him at as the special referee, I don't think that they would do that for absolutely no reason. So maybe he's cleared. I don't know, but I just feel like given the fact that they did this, I don't think that they would do it just to do it. Okay. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, Denise, what are you talking about? They would do it just to do it. No, I do believe that they wouldn't necessarily add Samoa Joe to this as a special referee if it wasn't possibly leading to Karrion Kross versus Samoa Joe. And we'll find out in a couple of weeks if I'm going to have egg on my face for that comment, for that assumption, for that theory. We will see with all of that. And let's see what else we got here, guys. Send in your comments. I'm going to try to get a couple more in here, and I'm going to make sure I get a couple. All right, I'm going to go up to Tyler Wilson, who says, if Joe doesn't take it, they'll need another multiple competitor event to take it to protect Kross and his dangerous force image. Exactly, because I mean, he could have lost it to like 4 other guys and he did it. So he's either going to lose it to Samoa Joe or he's going to lose it to multiple guys at some point. This is a comment from J Rock Dog, who says, my prediction is that Joe is going to cause one of them to lose. He's going to get hit, and rather than bring a DQ, he's going to take him out himself. Okay. Not a bad prediction. Let's see what else we got here. And I think I got quite a few comments. Again, if you guys want to get your comment read on the air, you can definitely send in a super chat. All right. So here we go. All right, here we go. We are moving on to the $1 million champion, LA Knight, defends his title against Cameron Grimes. If Cameron Grimes loses, he becomes his butler. All right, so let's do this. Where do I even begin here? All right, I'm going to be nice here, okay? I really am going to be nice. I'm going to try my hardest to do this in a nice way. How should I say this? Cameron Grimes. What's that saying? You turn lemons into lemonade, or whatever the hell that saying is. The point is that Cameron Grimes is the sole reason that this match was even 0.01% remotely interesting. I hate to be such a, negative Nancy, but really just, I'm not a fan of LA Knight's in-ring work, okay? I just have not seen anything that I'm like, yeah, woo, let's do this. It's not good, guys. It's not good. This was all Cameron Grimes. If you like this match, thank Cameron Grimes, because it was all Cameron Grimes, okay? And we all knew Cameron Grimes was going to lose. That's fine. We all knew he was going to be the butler. We're all cool with that because we all want to see the funny vignettes that are going to come of this. But this match, I mean, really, there was a moment where they went to picture in picture. And I'm thinking to myself, just go to dang commercial. Don't do the picture in picture, especially when all you see in the picture in picture is LA Knight doing a bunch of rest holds, stomping on Cameron Grimes, then doing another rest hold, stalling, looking at the crowd. And rest holds are not bad, okay? But they are when you don't really know why you're doing them, when they don't necessarily serve a purpose, or when you're doing them just because you don't know what else to do. And it was very, very clear. Now, obviously, he's not going to be, bumping like crazy in this picture in picture, but it just does not look good. I was not a fan of that. I was not a fan. I was like, I'd rather have them just go to commercial, not even have to see that, and just, move on with that. They come back from commercial break, back to a rest hold. And I'm sorry, but it was just not any point of this match that was good. It was because Cameron Grimes did something and I thought that looked cool. All right. So there was a moment here. There was a moment where, all right, there was a couple moments where I thought that this match was over and then it wasn't. I did like when Cameron Grimes got LA Knight with several slaps. I really thought that was a good moment during this match. Got a really nice reception from the crowd. And okay, so LA Knight grabs the belt and rolls up Grimes. And LA Knight ends up reversing it though. And at this moment, I think this is when I thought that this was over here. Then there was also another moment where LA Knight DDTs Cameron Grimes, but the referee doesn't see that when he DDTs him on the outside of the ring, a part of him lands on the $1 million championship because it was underneath the ring. And so I thought the match was over there, but in the end, we end up seeing LA Knight hit his finisher with the headlock DDT and gets the win. But again, that was kind of it, guys. That was really it there. We have a super chat. Thank you so much from Brandon Rosen, who says, can't wait for this comedy gold to happen. That's the plus, guys. That really is the plus out of this. I'm like, let's speed through this. Let's get to these vignettes because I may not be a fan of LA Knight's in-ring work, okay? But I am a fan of his mic work. I think he's got the character down. And when he does the vignettes and all of that, he knows what he's doing. He's got that all down. And I'm totally cool with that end of things. All right. So I do know that the Butler stuff is going to be pretty funny. And we got a fun comment from M. Durrett who says, Denise is not a fan of LA Knight. I'm just not a fan of the in-ring work stuff, guys. I'm sorry. Like Scott Provenzel, thank you so much. Cameron Grimes turns chicken shit into chicken salad, 100%. I just got to give credit where credit is due and call the things out that I feel I need to call out. And that's pretty much where I'm at there. And let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from B. Goolsby, who says, if LA Knight was named any other name, I would be a big fan. He is really good on the mic, but his in-ring work is very much like the Bobby Roode traditional style. I can understand people not liking that in-ring work. I like Bobby Roode. I'm just going to leave it at that. I like Bobby Roode. We have another comment from Scott Provenzel who says, LA Knight's in-ring should be serviceable for main roster with his mic skills. That's really all it needs to be. Yes, from the moment that he came into NXT, he's definitely been one where I've said I think he would be better suited for the main roster. I'm pretty sure I said that probably about 100 times. And we have a comment from Twitchface4 who says Cameron Grimes didn't have any insurance, so William Regal decreed that he be LA Knight's butler. You know what? I do say this, though. I do think that commentary should have definitely played up the butler thing a lot more. They should have definitely mentioned that a lot more on the actual match here. Oh, man, guys. Everybody's saying I buried LA Knight. I did not bury LA Knight, guys. I'm just being honest here, all right? People like it when I'm honest. I gotta be honest. And sometimes the truth is ugly. All right. Oh, that's terrible. That's a terrible line. All right, let's move on, guys. All right. So after this, we have the competitors announced that will be taking part of the 2021 Breakout Tournament. And I'm very curious to see who you guys are excited about. Who do you think is going to take it? Let's kind of look at some of the names that were announced. So the people that were announced were Trey Baxter. He's been somebody that we've seen a couple of times on NXT, and for the most part, he's been impressive. Carmelo Hayes, same thing, somebody we've seen on NXT and has been impressive as well. Andre Chase, and then we also had Josh Briggs. Josh Briggs is he's a big guy. We have Ike Manjiro. I definitely think that he's going to be somebody that definitely gets over with the crowd. He is going to be a crowd favorite, that's for sure. Formerly Kento Miyahara's tag team partner. Then we also have Joe Gacy. Then we have Odyssey Jones. I don't know much about Odyssey Jones, but I do know that he looked like a big guy. But I will tell you this, though. Out of every single guy that was announced, he looked the most excited to be there. And that made me want to cheer for him. Like, I got my money on Odyssey Jones just based off of like first impression. I was like, Odyssey Jones knows what's up. All right. We also have Duke Hudson as well. So my predictions here are that we're probably going to be seeing either Trey Baxter, Carmelo Hayes, or one of the big guys win this here. But we are going to have Jiro versus Hudson next week for the first round. So the first round of the 2021 Breakout Tournament does commence next week. All right. What do you guys think about some of the names that were announced here? We have ASM Shafim saying Carmelo for the win. The Worst Gamer says Trey Baxter is super athletic and does crazy stuff in the ring. And then let's see what else we got here. Let's see. We got a comment from, I'm trying to get some more comments here. I think a lot of people, for the most part, are looking to say that they like Trey Baxter here as the pick for the most part. Yep, I think so too. All right, this is a comment from Justin who says, I watch a lot of wrestling and I honestly didn't know who any of these guys were. Then Baxter and Hayes, I'm sure they changed all of their names anyways. Yeah, obviously. But here's the thing too, is that I kind of like it that way too. And you don't always know so much about somebody because for me, it makes it more exciting to see when they come out and they have their matches. I like to see people that I'm not familiar with because to me, it's just a little bit more exciting. Like, oh, okay, like I didn't know what this guy does and this is what he's doing in the ring. This is cool, yada, yada. I do think that is a cool aspect of this. And I think that's also part of the, this being a breakout tournament is that obviously these guys are breaking out and showing who they are to all of these people. So it is part of the, the fun of the tournament itself. And let's see what else we got here. Thank you so much for another super chat. This one is from God's Vessel Mime, who says Carmelo Hayes is taking it all the way. Also, thank you for reading my chats. Best friend. Yup. I'm still claiming it. You know what, guys? If you want to claim me as your best friend, you know what? I will be the PB&J. No, wait. I will be the peanut butter to your jelly or the jelly to your peanut butter. I am okay with that. Thank you so much to God's Vessel Mine for sending this in. And yeah, I do think that Carmelo Hayes is definitely one of those people that will be a probably a strong pick right there. Good pick there. And let's see what else we got here. We got another super chat. Thank you so much to Martin Carrillo, who sends in a super chat who says, whoever is the cocky one, I got them for the win. There was who was the cocky one? I know who you're talking about. It was Duke Hudson. Duke Hudson was the very, very cocky one. Like he came in and he was just like, he had this very, very bougie, very, very like stern, I'm the shit face. Like that's what he had. That's the vibe that he had going. Okay. I think that's what you're talking about. I think that's who you're talking about, Martin. But thank you so much for sending in this super chat here. Let's see what else we got here. And alrighty, guys. Let's move on. Again, 2021 Breakout Tournament happening next week. And I will be here to talk about it. So that's going to be very, very fun. Now, we got a couple more things to talk about on this show, but let's jump in to the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match. And this was Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell defending against Io Shirai and Zoey Stark. And ladies and gentlemen, spoiler alert, we have brand new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions in Io Shirai and Zoey Stark. Yay, I predicted this, guys. If you were here on my show last week, I said that they were going to win. They won. A point for me. Congratulations. All right. So at the top of this, immediately, I was like, man, has there been any follow-up to Index? I know that's probably not what you guys were expecting, but I kind of felt like we hadn't had much of a follow-up to Index since the whole Poppy segment, which was by far the best segment that they did. But anyways, I felt like up until that point, we hadn't really had a follow-up to the Index storyline. However, we did so after the match. But before I jump ahead, let's talk a little bit about this actual match. It was, to be honest, it was okay. There were a couple moments that I enjoyed, like when this was actually a nice little sign that Index wasn't over, was when Indy did the head and arm choke like Loomis does on Zoey. And at the same time, Candice had Io in the Gargano escape at the exact same time. That was a pretty good moment. And what we need to talk about here, too, is that the lights went down. And we officially had the big reveal of who the person was behind the battery charger. This is something we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks here. And one of the names that was mentioned throughout the stream about 1 zillion times was none other than Tegan Nox. And Tegan Nox, it was. She's back, and immediately we see Candice LeRae, and she's like frightened. She's like freaking out. She's like, oh no. And but before the match so this ends up leading to essentially how this distraction ends up leading to Io and Zoey being able to get the win. After this, we do see Candice LeRae and Tegan Nox go at it, excuse me. So let me give you guys a little bit of background here before we move on, because I think a couple people might need a little bit of a reminder. I kind of needed a little bit of a reminder here. But ahead of the NXT Women's Championship #1 Contenders Battle Royal, Candice LeRae ran a crate over Tegan Nox surgically repaired left knee, and she was hitting her with a steel pipe, okay? So attacking her, taking her out. There it is, guys. She's back, and she remembers what Candice LeRae did to her. And so that's a little bit of a background there. But for those of you guys who do not know, this is her third time since 2017, Tegan Nox. She's had 3 ACL tears, okay? 3 times, guys, which oh my God, I'm like thinking about it, and it like hurts to think about. That's like literally like in a span of 5 years. So I really hope that Tegan Nox is healthy and strong and that she does well, because I know that they see like some potential in her. If not, they would have just let her go easily. They would have done it, and they did it. And now she's back, and I'm very excited to see where this leads with her and Candice LeRae. It's definitely going to be something fresh, because I'm tired of seeing Candice LeRae in the same matches all the time. She is one of those people that have been hurt by being practically in the exact same matches. And as for Io Shirai and Zoey Stark being champions, it's an odd pairing. They really were just thrown together, to be honest. To me, they don't really feel like an official tag team. They didn't sign those official tag team papers, but honestly, I am looking forward to it just because I wanted something new. I was kind of over Indy and Candice being tag team champions, and I would have taken really anybody just to refreshen this up, if I'm going to be completely honest here. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Oh, also, a lot of people also knew that it was going to be Tegan Nox, aside from the fact that she was one of the main people that people expected to come back. But she also recently had a dark match on Raw. Prior to last night's Raw, she had a dark match against Toni Storm. So that also made the rounds as well. So a lot of people were already expecting her already with the theories, but then more so after the reports came out that she did this dark match. All right, guys, what did you think of Zoey and Io Shirai becoming women's tag team champions? And what did you think about the return of Tegan Nox? And let's see, we got quite a few comments here. This is a comment from Heidi Alexander who says, I really thought that the mystery person was Parker, Brock Lesnar's lookalike, because everyone thought he would be in the Diamond Mine, then the breakout tournament. No, I think he was probably one of the few. He wasn't really, at least from what I saw, he wasn't a name that I saw necessarily put out there as a theory for who this battery charger person was going to be. I think for the most part, everybody expected that it would be Tegan Nox, or essentially somebody that was, coming back from a surgery or just coming back, period. Obviously, we talked about the symbolism of the battery charger, etc. So I never thought that it was going to be him. And this is a comment from Braves fan 24 who says, I really hope Tegan Nox can avoid another injury and we get to see her shine. I hope so too. And she came in today and she had the face and you could see the urge between like everything that she was doing. Like she came in there and she was like she was making sure that people know that she was back, and you could see it in the way that she was moving her body. She came in full force is what I'm trying to say here. Like she didn't come in here to half-ass anything. Like she's ready to go, and you can definitely see that in her. Like this is her shot. Like this right now, her match or her storyline, her feud, whatever she's going to do with Candice LeRae, this is her opportunity to sort of get back on that wagon and kind of show people what she can do. And, hopefully, build herself up, maybe become a challenger to Raquel, because we all know Raquel needs more challengers. Tegan Nox can definitely be one of those persons. So there's definitely a lot that there's a lot in which that they can utilize Tegan Nox. So I do hope that she also, stays healthy and all of that. And let's see what else we got here. All right, we'll talk about Toni Storm in a second because we did have that promo coming up. But we have a comment from Mr. EMJ who says, congrats to Zoey. That match was a bit sloppy, but Zoey kicks ass. Side note, I hope Nox's legs stay healthy this time around. Yeah, the match itself was really nothing special. If they would have just done this match, and let's say they didn't have the incorporation of Tegan Nox and the distraction and all of that, like they're really like this would have been a very no, you know what? I'm taking this back. This was a weak win for them because they essentially won off of a distraction. So this was a weak way for them to actually win the titles. It wasn't like this very big moment where you're like, oh my God, they did it. It kind of felt like, oh, okay, cool. We got new champions. Nice. That was kind of it. I didn't really feel like it was this big grand moment because even after they won, and so they got the 3 count, right? Zoey gets the win. And then immediately after, we go and we see that, Io Shirai and Candice LeRae are going at it. So immediately the focus has shifted to them. So they're essentially the most important thing in this segment here. And then it's, oh, hey, let's go back now. And now let's go ahead and say, hey, guys, we got these champions and, they're new champions. Hooray. Let's have them hold up the belts. So it did kind of feel like the moment felt like it was in the shadows of, the return of Tegan Nox. And that was going to happen regardless, because at the end of the day, you have a return. So, yeah, it was kind of like they were definitely the second most talked about thing in that segment is what I'm trying to get at here. All right, guys. Oh, and then afterwards, Index is still a thing, guys. Index is still a thing. If you're wondering what was happening with the romance between Dexter Lumis and Indy Hartwell, they are definitely still an item because afterwards, Dexter Lumis carried off Indy Hartwell, and chances are they rode off into the sun. Just kidding. I have no idea. I have no idea where they rode off to. It's Dexter Lumis. Who knows where he's going to take Indy Hartwell? We have no idea. He took her to the back. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on, though. All right, so we got a couple more things to talk about. Actually, before we move on, because we're about to get into some very, very hot topics here tonight, and I have a feeling that we're not all going to agree. But in the meantime, guys, do not forget to give this video a like. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the F4W Online YouTube channel. So much content is being posted here all the time. I am live 3 times a week, everybody, talking about NXT, AEW Dynamite, Friday Night Smackdown. If you just want a show where you can chat with somebody and chat with the people in the chat about wrestling and just have a good old time, Speak Now Pro Wrestling is definitely the show for you. If you have been enjoying my shows, feel free to let your friends know. If you have any wrestling pals, hit them up and say, hey, check out Speak Now Pro Wrestling. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to follow me on Twitter and or on Instagram @ Denise Salcedo. I live tweet during each and every single show. I'm always tweeting on there and sharing interviews and clips and, talking about the news and whatever is going on in the wrestling world. You can definitely find that all on my page. And I am very active and I engage a lot with people. So if you want to come chat wrestling with me, tag me. I see that stuff. Okay. Again, that is @ Denise Salcedo. But let's go ahead and move on because we have a quick promo backstage, which I personally really much enjoyed. A nice promo from Toni Storm where she basically just says that she does not want to wrestle Shirai. She doesn't want to wrestle her. That she's not on her level. And so that match apparently is not happening. Obviously, it's going to happen. But according to Toni Storm, it's not going to happen. All right, but let's talk about Hit Row's celebration, the Cypher, whatever they were calling it. Let's talk about this because I honestly am curious as to how you guys are going to feel about this one, okay? And now I am not going to probably be a lot of people's favorite person right now, but I kind of really didn't like this. I was not really that fan of this concert thing. And for the most part, I saw everybody on Twitter was loving it and all of that. But I'll just be real. This was not for me. This was not for me. I found this very boring and very long, and I didn't want to see a concert. I made a joke. Basically, I don't like going to concerts where I don't know the words to the song. That's a very dumb joke. But the point is that I found this to be very, very stretched out. And I didn't feel like I got anything from it. As a viewer, I did not feel like I got anything from this. I was just not a fan. I thought it was boring. I don't want to be like those people that like compare and contrast by any means. But when you see the Acclaimed come out and you see Max Caster do his lines and all of this, obviously it's short, to the point, it's brief, but I like when he does it because I get something out of it. I get something out of it because he says things that pop me, and I like that. So I just didn't get anything from the Hit Row celebration. However, I will find a pro in this, and here's the pro. There's a couple of pros. One, it's different. It's not something that the NXT audience, I think, is used to. And even so, when you have these performers coming in, it's the same thing like when they have Poppy and like all of these artists coming in. I'm like, I don't even know the words to these songs. I'm not going to enjoy myself. So anyways, but what I'm trying to get at here is at least instead of having to sit through some artists coming into NXT where you're like, I don't even care about their music whatsoever. So like, why do I care about this performance? At least the performance is being done by the talent that thus helps further their character development. So that is the pro in all of this, okay? I just think that it should have been a lot shorter. I think if it would have been a lot shorter, it would have felt harmless. But because it went so long, it just kind of felt like background. It didn't feel like must-see TV. It felt like background noise. So what did you guys think? Are you guys polar opposite of me, or did you like it? What is everybody's thoughts here? All right, let's see. Here we go, because we're going to get lots of comments on this, and I'm trying to think about where do we even start here. All right, let's start here. Sean says, not weird. They have nothing in common. They literally cut a promo before the three-way that they had no interest in being a team. So okay. I'm not sure I understand that one there. We actually have a super chat from Brandon Rosen who says, I gotta say, I was entertained by Hit Row. I think these guys are crazy talented at what they do and can't wait to see what they do next. I will say this. I need to give a second to shout out Isaiah Surf Scott, because when he got on the mic and he started rapping, I thought that was really good. Like, he sounded really good. So you can definitely see the talent in him. And Sam3 says 1 minute per member would have been okay. I agree. It was just too long. Tyler Wilson says, I'm not listening that long to anything that people won't buy. We have a comment from Reductive92 says, B-Fab will be the breakout star of the group like Alexa Bliss and Carmella. What do you think? I think that B-Fab definitely has a presence, and that has not gone unnoticed whatsoever. So, yeah, we have Stanley says he agrees with me. Let's see what else we got here. This is a comment from Pomi who says, I personally didn't like this segment with Hit Row. It fit their character, but it went far too long and had no point since no one interfered, started, or continued any storyline. Comment from Martin who says it extended way too long, was expecting something more. I don't know that this didn't really get them over as a badass act. They should have done something else. And I'm trying to see, for those who did like this, what they liked about all of this. Okay, I'm trying to find okay, here we go. Synonymous TV says, the Cypher was dope. They obviously did this to show off their rapping ability. I was expecting someone to come out and interrupt. Yeah, there you go. And I'm trying to get a couple more. I think a couple people. Yeah, again, this is going to be for some people, and some people are just not going to like this whatsoever. All right. We got another super chat. This is from M. Durrett. Thank you so much to M. Durrett, who says, I'm not usually one for when they tried to incorporate someone else doing corny rap, but this was actually hot, Denise. It was long, but they had lyrics. See, that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, for those who did like it, why did you like it? So there you go. I personally, again, not for me, but if you like this, I'm glad, because it was very different for NXT and the type of programming that they do. And let's see what else we got here. All right. This is a comment from High Score Run who says it was a little long, but it was very good. Just weird for a segment on the Great American Bash. Alonzo R says, I loved it. It's completely different from anything we've seen in WWE. And Paul Jr. points out that the lyrics were dope. All right, guys. So BTW, if you're watching the replay of this or listening to the audio version of this, I'm very interested in what you thought of Hit Row's Cypher performance, Cypher celebration. Are you a fan of this? Personally, I hope we don't see this every week, at least to this length. If we have a couple of, they come out, singing during their entrances, I think that's pretty awesome. I think that would be a cool addition. But other than that, it's just there for me. All right, guys, here we go. Let's see what else we got. I am moving on now to the main event, everybody. Here we go. We had Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly 2. And look, I want to start off by saying that this match was very different from their first match. Obviously, the unsanctioned match, obviously very different flow. That was already going to happen, given that their last match was unsanctioned. It does feel a little backwards, though, to obviously have the unsanctioned match and then this match essentially, be your normal singles match. So it did feel a little bit backwards, but that's fine. Okay. Now, here's the thing, though, is that I would be foolish to say that this match was not good, because it was good. It was very good. I really enjoyed it. I thought that anybody who probably didn't like this match, I don't know what to say, because this match was pretty hella entertaining. It was a very hard-hitting match, and it was the perfect way to end off the show, especially, for, the Great American Bash show, which is, obviously not a takeover, but it's still a special edition of NXT. You want to have these type of matches on there. And so I think that this match did it justice by being the main event. And I think that, if anybody decided to skip out on the Great American Bash, or maybe they weren't necessarily feeling this match, or maybe they weren't looking forward to it, I would definitely say go out of your way to actually check it out, because it was not a bad match whatsoever. And this may be very obvious. Obviously, you have two guys in there like Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, who are obviously bound to have a hell of a match. We already know that. But my favorite parts of this match really were when Kyle O'Reilly just kind of got really upset. I felt that every time that Kyle O'Reilly stepped it up just a tad bit more, he helped take that match to another level. So I did like all of that. We saw Kyle O'Reilly focus a lot on the left knee of Adam Cole. We saw Cole getting him with the figure four leg lock. Kyle O'Reilly reverses it into a heel hook. We see Adam Cole do the Panama Sunrise on Kyle O'Reilly to the outside. That ends up getting a 2 count. Then we see Cole hitting him with a running knee. And this is the moment where I thought that it was over. But instead, we got another 2 count. And then eventually, Adam Cole gets the win, and this is his first big win in quite some time, everybody. Quite some time. I don't know where you go from here. I don't know if we're probably going to see this match again. Part of me feels like we are, because it still doesn't feel like it has concluded to me. Like, this does not feel like the conclusion of Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and this saga that they are having. I still feel like we're going to see them go at it once again. Obviously, probably with a different stipulation, whatever that stipulation may be. But I just don't feel that it is over yet. And I have to say, though, I really did like this match. All right, let's see what we got here. We got quite a few comments about this, and someone says that, oh, okay, here we go. And okay, here we go. I'm like trying to get a couple of these comments in. So let's start with Synonymous TV, who says, well, I preferred this match over their first. Adam Cole had no business winning this. With him winning, this probably means we have to see this a third time. Man, Adam Cole needs to leave NXT. So here's the thing. I agree with you that I also liked this match more than their first, because I was one of those people that kind of felt that their first match was a little bit too forced. Like, I thought that it was very, very long, and they tried to make it this type of match, but felt very forced. So I wasn't necessarily a fan of their first match. I was more of a fan of their second match. But with Adam Cole winning, I actually think he needed this win. Like, one of the things that I just mentioned is that we haven't seen Adam Cole win a match like this, a big match like this, in a second or two, you know? And so Adam Cole needed this, okay? And I know some people would say, well, he's Adam Cole, he doesn't need anything. I get all that, and because he has this reputation that he has built for himself on NXT. But at the end of the day, the guy still has to get some big wins, and this was definitely one of them. And yes, it is definitely, I do think that you are correct in that we are going to see this a third time. And let's see what else we got here. And let's see. This one's from Tyler Wilson, who says, I expected them to take it up a notch or intensify the stipulation. And then again for Cole O'Reilly 3. But how can you go bigger than unsanctioned? See, and this is the thing, is one of the things that we talk about on AEW with the Inner Circle Pinnacle storyline is, you know, how they did the blood and guts match, and then you go into the to the stadium stampede, and it's kind of like it's going backwards, right? I felt the exact same way for Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, where I kind of felt like they should have ended with the unsanctioned match, because you just don't go from an unsanctioned match to then just a regular singles match. So I do think the third one obviously has to take it up. Definitely has to take it up a notch for sure. And this is coming from Sean, who says Adam Cole doesn't need to leave and shouldn't leave. There's nowhere he fits on the main roster. I know Adam Cole was winning this and should have. I'm good over Kyle personally. See, all right. I'm going to read this comment from Lenny, who says, Ciampa Gargano started with an unsanctioned match with Gargano won to start the feud before Ciampa came back to win his second match, which preceded his epic run with Goldie. I can see this potentially being the springboard to Cole regaining the NXT championship. This was a great match, excellent ring psychology by both men, with Kyle working Cole's arm and Cole working Kyle's knees. I do agree again with this ring psychology, because you did see that a lot throughout this entire match. So some good points here made by Lenny as well. Justin says, no surprise that those two would have a great main event wrestling match. Cole had to beat O'Reilly half to death, but he finally finished him off. And let's see what else we got here. We got some couple of comments here about this. Let's see. And Cameron2418 says the third match could be a loser leaves NXT match, possibly. Oh my God. All right, guys. So I think for the most part, everybody enjoyed it, and everybody knows that we are getting a third match. And Cameron2418 says, agree, Cole definitely needed this win. And Scott says, so much better than the first, stripped down and organic. I like the way that you described it as stripped down and organic. And I think that definitely hits the mark on this match here. And lastly, I'll read this comment from TwitchFace4, who says, if they're working backwards, maybe the third match will be an interview segment. Contracts. Wait, they already did the contract signing thing though. They could do. God, I don't know. I can't even think anymore. That was funny though. Thank you so much, TwitchFace4, for the laugh here. And we have a comment from Anthony Manzano, who says, Denise, I think there's a match that they can use this end at the feud of SummerSlam. Take over the 3 stages of hell match. That's another option. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, I think we got mostly everything, guys. If I missed your comment here, okay, this is one from Lost in Missouri, who says, he says that he would like the third time to be a 2 out of 3 falls match. I guess that's not too bad. Again, it's just not complicated, but unsanctioned is like unsanctioned, you know? I don't know, maybe they could do a Hell in a Cell match. If that means anything, doesn't really though. It really doesn't anymore, but maybe that could be something. I don't know. Alrighty, guys, that is the show. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I hope you guys enjoyed talking about the Great American Bash. Do not forget to come back tomorrow for AEW Dynamite. That's always my most popular show of the week. A very, very fun show to talk about. So make sure you guys come in and hang out on Wednesday. And then make sure to come back on Friday. Friday is what I like to call my most chill show of the week. All right. We just chill, talk about Smackdown, have a good time, and all of that. Alrighty, everyone. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and do not forget to follow me on Twitter and or on Instagram @_Denise Salcedo. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone. Take care.